My Gavan and Melonin, and well met indeed. I'm Adrian Galadrian, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to the same as we fight again at Lynn here against Captain Abatarik. And we are hoping to now finally just take back this city after the hordes of Khand have come through and have rather soundly defeated us last time. And we are now to enact vengeance for that loss. A new day has passed, quite literally this is recorded the day after yesterday's video. And I am renewed and reinvigorated in my attempts to not lose this campaign so that we can actually win this, what is proving to be, yes, a very challenging campaign. Although, at the moment, I would say not necessarily challenging because the enemy is particularly clever, but perhaps challenging just purely because you are massively outnumbered. And the enemy gets a lot of stuff. Speaking of a lot of stuff, and thereby reversing it, we don't have anything, so this one will prove to be a bit of a challenge. Something that this campaign has taught me is that whilst the forces of Dol Amroth obviously are a cavalry heavy nation, we don't actually get very many units of cavalry in the early stages of the game, and you have to rely on your rather small cavalry bodyguard to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And also, that now that our archers have been significantly reduced in ability, well, they haven't been significantly reduced in ability. The only change really is the mariners are slightly worse than they were before. The mid-tier archers that they were slightly better than have been cut out of the game, and you've lost your elite archer. Those are the only real differences. But of course, it does mean that beating our enemies at the range game is not something that's really in our repertoire anymore, unfortunately. But I don't think this campaign is totally lost. I was just really disappointed yesterday because I was actually thoroughly looking forward to playing Divide and Conquer, particularly as Dol Amroth, and when I'd forgotten to move that army, it totally crushed my soul. But I must confess that actually I am still thoroughly enjoying the campaign as a whole, and I have got the grit in my teeth now to ensure that we at least try and salvage something back from this. And if we are to die, we shall die damn well valiantly and not by just quitting in the campaign. Yesterday was a dark and bleak moment. I say yes, yesterday. I'm recording this the day that video went up, which for me is recorded the day after I recorded that video. But anyway, so I'm resolved. We will fight on. We're not just going to quit. We're not just going to call it a day. I think Dol Amroth possibly could do with a bit of a buff moving forward. But to my mind, I think that buff could come quite easily in the form of just simply starting Theland off as a Dol Amroth town at the start of the game. I think that change alone would help you out significantly with a lot of knock-on effects. Also, do remember that Khand attacked me here today, so why they are running their army away is anybody's guess. Their army laid out before us is the usual Khandish early tier nonsense, like Marauder cavalry, if countered are a complete joke. Nomad cavalry who actually will do some damage, and then more steppe units down here, which again are not very good. However, as I'm not sure. Khand's early game is dominated by trash units. Trash. It's not very good. But the later stages of the game, Khand do actually hold their own. And as you all saw from the top 10 shock infantry, they actually even get, in the later stages of the game, infantry that is good enough to make it into top 10 lists. So Khand aren't as bad as I portray them out to be, but in the early game, they are as bad as I make them out to be, and then some. It's only in the later game that they start to actually achieve something and do something. We're going to have to get the entire roster involved in today's battle because we just have not, unfortunately, got the luxury of keeping anyone out. The problem, of course, is that our cavalry is completely surpassed by theirs in number and skill and strength. Particularly those nomads, there'll be a bit of a problem provided that they don't charge into our pikes. There's some more nomads there. I think there's more nomads there as well. Yes, there are. And then moving further afield, there's more of the cavalry archers. But they just don't want to attack us at the moment, do they? They are... who knows what they're doing. Maneuvering the entire army. I'm not really sure. But whatever their plan here, I think Adrian will be relatively safe. Ideally you want the pikes on the flanks, of course, to counter the cavalry, but the cavalry in this game is very, very normally is at least clever enough to know not to run into pikes, and they tend to avoid them. So putting your pikes on the flanks just sees them get killed off with cavalry archer fire, which we don't want. So we'll have the pikes down the centre. They are to hold off against the steppe tribesmen who are coming in. Speaking of steppe tribesmen, though, I don't want that javelin volley that they're undoubtedly going to throw at us. And I really want to save our archers for their cavalry archers. So our small contingent of cavalry, if you could just charge out and disrupt their javelin forces that are closing in on our line, just hit them even once would be enough. Ah, look, and then Adrian can charge out and support. So you stop them from... Whoa! They're routing instantly. What on earth has gone on there? Oh, Canned. How you delight me so often with your ridiculous tactics. Why did they just break on a single charge? What is that all about? Right, and then unfortunately their army is made up mostly of archers. Which means we're going to get peppered with ranged fire. What are that at the back? No, Nomad warriors aren't archers. So it's those two there and those two there are archers, which is a large part of their army, isn't it? The steppe tribesmen have turned around and are joining in again. As our cavalry charges into them. Pull back out, cavalry. Oh, look, their horse archers are closing in. Shield wall. Charge back. Oh, they got their cavalry right through that gap there. But now they've trapped their cavalry against our pike line. Oh, and they charged into our units there as well. Haven guarding those marauders. Come on, pikes, turn around. Not too bothered about the Nimrod Mariners. Not too bothered about any individual unit. This should hopefully be the last of Can's attempts at Lynn here for this particular turn. And then we can regroup at least. That the marauders are already wavering. Pikes, turn around. Come out of that stupid wall thing then. And turn around and do what you're being told. Otherwise it is just... Oh, the steppe tribesmen are back. Nomad warriors changed their target and they've gone for the cavalry. Candish raiders have charged in. That's really handy. Nomad horsemen over there up against a shield wall and taking absolutely no losses because of it. But there's those javelins giving us hell again in the centre. Right, you guys come and hit those archers. That unit is completely killed off. Adrian, you go around the back. Haven Guard, hit the Nomad Warriors in the side. You guys are doing alright. You're doing alright. You can come out of that and come out of that now. You don't need shield wall when you're attacking. You've hit them. You guys come in and hit them in the back as well. Archers change target. Cavalry, keep it up. The cavalry is doing what needs to be done. There's hardly any of them. Yes, we've caught the Nomad Warriors. Flank attack. Iron Fist. I kind of, in the back of my mind, I think we will lose this campaign overall because, of course, the great beast of Harad is yet to rear its ugly head. We have no hope of defeating them, but then we don't have to fight them until we break through Cand. And whilst Cand does get better in the later stages, if we can get some of our late game units out, we get better too. So, Cand at no point outclasses Dol Amroth, other than in the variety of cavalry units available to them. Oh, why do they do that? Target different things when you charge them as a group. It's really annoying.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Elfir. We can't let Elfir die. He's the living embodiment of Imrahil. Quite literally, given that he is Imrahil's son. Right. Well, I don't think we're going to lose this particular battle, but I mean, I think the campaign might be a loss. But then, just at the end of the last episode, Gondor did send some forces to deal with the Ardenaim who were coming in from Lond Gallen. And if Gondor gets involved and helps, I mean, Gondor is still a military powerhouse at the moment. They've just got a lot of enemies. And we're trying to, of course, thin their enemies so that their military power can be targeted where we want it. You hit those then. Don't worry about attacking those archers. You guys go for them. The cavalry will eventually get those archers to break, I think. You guys can go in. Come on, hit them square in the side. They don't have a general, so we can't kill their general to make them break. But their captain could always die, and that would be handy. I don't know where he is. Those Nomad warriors are starting to finally change their mind. Ah, the pikes have won. They can turn. Right, we can go to time 6 now. There we are. Now it's just the archers left to rout. Can we catch the archers? I don't think we'll be able to. What is that? Nomad warriors. Run away! Run away! Right, you catch the archers. Yes. Yes! Continue. Right, 5 of you. Go for the Nomad warriors. 1 of you. Step archers. An elf here. Catch as many of them as you can. Everyone else. Stand in the centre. How many have we caught? 90%. Catch a few more. Let's just get a few more. 91, that'll do. Fantastic work. Heroic victory. 157, 1,101. 196 Amrothian pikemen. What this is teaching me, quite soundly, about Dol Amroth is that the Amrothian pikeman is far and away your best early tier unit and should absolutely be utilised in every single force that you could muster, every army that you train, and every single battalion that marches forth from the great city of Dol Amroth. Ideally wants to have a pike unit in it. Because they are doing so well. Like in that battle, for example, the pike kills were primarily infantry. They can just deal with basically everything as long as you keep them protected. But hopefully that was at least the end of this set of Khan's hordes. Yes! Nope, one more comes. Batadoon. How many have we killed in this bloody end turn? And look at the army that Gondor has sitting outside. I'm not sure that we can do it again. And oh, this is the proper army. This is the real one. Batadoon has Variag Lancers in his roster. Nomad Horsemen. 1, 2 cavalry archers, including himself. 1 unit of archers. 2 units of steppe tribesmen. I think it'd be too much to take it again.
Retreat!
Oh, no.
We must yield!
Oh, if we fight it and we die, no one's getting out. I think Elfir just died. Oh, and the Ardenaim army that I was just talking about with Gondor being right there. There's Gondor's army, Captain Baron Findle, who can easily keep all of that at bay. Lord Elfir did die. Went as badly as it could have gone. 2 episodes, starting off with a fantastic loss for the forces of Dol Amroth. But if we are to lose, we will, as I say, lose with class and glory, with splendour. It's a real shame that the Ardenaim have now managed to bring that entire army through. I didn't really see that coming. They've landed by the looks of it. They sailed to us rather than actually walked.
Come and get me.
Yes, they definitely did, because to walk to me, they would have to go all the way through here. Oh, well, that really rather flips everything on its head, doesn't it? Right, well, we've lost Elfir, which is not good. Units that can retrain, get yourselves back to Dol Amroth.
Let us set up camp.
You guys go back to Methras, where you might be able to retrain. I can retrain them. I can't retrain the pikes for another 4 turns. Can you get me a bit of barracks here? Well, you can, but it'll be a long old time. We've got a lot more money, though. Lynn here wasn't making us any money, which is interesting. Ithelin's got a unit coming. You guys, you'll just get trapped and killed in that fort. So pull you to Dol Amroth. We'll pull him. Send the cavalry in as well. It's a shame we can't set war coordination targets. Get Gondor to take back Lynn here.
My lord.
Bree. Hello, Bree. How does that float your boat?
Acceptable. Good day to you.
Yes.
Yes, my lord.
Got a bit more money. Got some trade rights. It's not bad, but everywhere is building everything we can, other than Methras, which will on the next one. But another end turn it is. Khand are just going to keep coming now that they've taken Lynn here. But then that Gondor army must be thinking about attacking Khand. Surely they're not just going to let a Khandish city stand right on their border. I can't believe how many forces that Khandish that just came across the Anduin. How many Khandish units did they actually just have there? That was ridiculous. We fought one. There was one in the city which we killed because it was supported by a reinforcing army. So that was 2. Then we killed that army, and then Batadoon came through. So there were 4 armies in total. But they probably were only about 2 or 3 banner armies tops. But if we can just get some more pikemen, then Khan's roster is completely nullified. Oh, and Batadoon's making his way down the coast. The Ardenaim, though, have not attacked us. They appear to have gotten back in their ship. Did they actually go back in their ship? Oh, they totally did. Yes! Oh, Ardenaim, you fools.
Engaging the enemy.
Yes! A light of hope shines through the clouds of our dismay. That was fantastic. Just as Gondor besieged Lon Gallen as well. Oh, Gondor, if you can take that, perhaps the tide will finally turn. So we just killed the Ardenaim army with a pathetic little ship force, which is fantastic. Let's get some troops trained there. Right, Prince Adrian the Fearless.
Your will, my lord. Yes.
Turn on your heels, sir.
My lord.
Oh, yes. Come at me, you dirty desert-dwelling bastards. We'll take you all day.
Orders.
Form an army.
You wish. Joining
Blue banners of Dol Amroth will ride high in our own lands, and we shall take Linhere back. Our barracks is building. Thelen's just got those extra, but we don't really need them. Put them in the fort for now.
Orders.
And here, can you retrain? No, you can't. Can you build anything? You can get an army barracks after that one. If you can, try and get that through. That would be handy.
Captain of Gondor.
Oh, that was absolutely brilliant. I need a spy. He's over there. I need another spy. Thelen, can you give me a spy? No. Dol Amroth? No. A diplomat. That's not really what I want. Oh, damn it. A diplomat in a pinch would do, but how much does a diplomat cost?
Yes, my lord.
Oh, it doesn't tell you. That's very annoying, isn't it? Baragon the Gossip, how much do you cost? I want to know how much I'm paying for you.
Yes.
Right, let's head our
As you
way up.
wish.
The Northern Dunedain.
Approaching their dignitary, you have a proposition.
You want the
for
same
us?
things, don't you? Yeah, go on. And then can we have another 650 from you? Maybe 700 even? How goes that? Captain Colfinther?
It's
Yes.
good to know. Well,
Nice. And then we can talk to Angmar
Yes.
and get a bit more money. As we sell our meagre trade trade rights and map information. Don't build anything so that Dol Amroth can build its barracks on the next turn. Batadoon, you're about to meet your match.
Awaiting your command.
2 units of guardsmen who can shield wall. 3 units of guardsmen who can shield wall. We've got a pike unit. We've got 3 cavalry units. 1 now seaward lancers who will actually finally start crushing our enemies. Although I'm a famously terrible cavalry commander, of course, so they won't help us all that much. But if we can get Linhere back, and yes, the white light has just shone on the north there. Gondor have taken back Lond Gallen. The Ardenaim's advance has been thwarted. Primarily because the Ardenaim just sailed to attack me and lost their entire army in a boat. So how the tide turns. How a game that is now 13 years old still offers up such delights. That's the real point to take away from all this, isn't it? Oh, dear. DCI Last Alliance, by the way. I still have this 2 days this week booked off to get my recordings in for that. And we will be cracking on. And I will be playing as the Realms in Exile, which I think are the flagship factions of the mod. So we're going to be playing as the United Kingdom, not Reunited Kingdom, of Gondor and Arnor, or as I say, better known as the Realms in Exile, for that is what they are. Rohan has now actually been destroyed, so Gondor's tribulations and trials are about to get a bit worse. But they're moving on Anulond. If they can get back some strength in the west, that would be fantastic. I can try and assist. I mean, I can sail an army down, to be honest, is what I'd like to do. But we need to take back land from Khand first. Oh, they can retrain now. Fantastic.
Captain of Gondor.
Hello, Batadoon.
Slay them.
How goes it this time, you little scumbucket?
For the white
The one thing we have from Khand, I'm actually, again, this is a fantastic example of the Ardenaim using naval superiority to move their forces around, and I'm delighted to see it. But of course, it's a pain in the bloody neck, so I'm pleased that Khand don't have the ability to ferry troops around, or Gobel Tolfalas would have fallen ages ago. Now, we are attacking them, and they will probably try and get as much defense on this hill as they can. And so what we're going to do, we've got a fully formed Adrihil battalion now as well. Who would have thought that Adrihil would actually end up being the saviour of this campaign? I'm trying to ignore the fact that Elfir has died, because that's a very, very disappointing aspect of this campaign. We needed him to live, for he was our blood son and our heir. I don't even know if we have an heir anymore. If Adriel dies, we might actually lose this campaign. I'm not entirely certain what other heirs there are. I keep seeing people ask in the comments, how do I get that to show up on the floor? And it amazes me so much. I thought it's one of the most commonly used keyboard shortcuts in every Total War game since I think even Shogun and Rome have the ability to press the space bar and see where you've lined your army up. But it's holding down the space button. Space bar, space key, call it what you will. Right, as I say, we attack them, so they've got to go on the defensive. But what they are doing, very moronically, is moving down the hill, which is only going to improve our chances. We've got an interesting little cliff just to the right-hand side here. But we'll wait and see if they consider their chances better or worse in the attack or not. I think they will continue to run away, to be honest. So what we're going to do is instead go for a much wider plan and then lock it in. So we want a core... Well, wherever you put the... This is why it doesn't really matter what you put on the flanks, because in this game, the AI is less concerned about desperately trying to flank you, and instead it will actually think, where is it best to put my cavalry? And so frequently the cavalry will go down the middle if the middle is the weakest point to cavalry. And the reason I mention that is because if I put the 4 units that are good against cavalry down the middle, the AI will naturally ignore them and go around the sides anyway. But if I'd put them on the sides, the AI would go down the middle where it gets the most out of its cavalry. We saw that, we see that all the time with the AI charging our front line with their cavalry. And it's better, to be honest, because it means it doesn't feel like every single battle is identical. You don't know every single time they're going to try and flank me. There's an air of mystery to it. Now, I keep forgetting to move Adrian as well. Let's put you on the right. Our own cavalry isn't going to be much use here because their army is primarily cavalry. Right, move everyone into position. Once our archers start firing, the AI will then really start closing in. And they are now firing by the looks of it. Yes, perfect. Right, that'll coax the AI in. And look how many of them are coming on that side. So, Adrian, that's a perfect position for you. Those large circles are the cavalry archers and the lines are the normal ones. Nomad horsemen, Variag lancers are on that side. What I wouldn't give. Oh, they've let their general die by just standing him in my far out. I will take that all day. Please do continue to run your general at my forces. Right. What's over there? Marauders and Nomad Horsemen. So the cavalry archers are all on the right. Let's just go in and watch that because that's going to be fantastic, isn't it? There are 116 step archers as the Seaward Lancers charge down the hill. Not particularly with much gusto, but still they've caught them. And they got about 30 of them in the charge. Right, that should have pulled the enemy back.
If we continue
Kick
like
the enemy
this,
into gear.
we will smash the enemy.
Get the cavalry out. Right, you guys on that side, I don't think you're going to actually see action, so curl yourselves round. The line holds. I don't know where their general has gone and what he's up to. He's out there dying somewhere. Right, step tribesmen are coming through. Let's curl Adrian around. Varag Lancers have pulled up. The AI just doesn't know what to do with itself, does it? We've got Gondor militia winning fights. Who would have thought? Gondor militia, just take the charge from those horsemen. You'll be alright. Cavalry burst forth down the hill and shut down those tribesmen. Hit those Candish raiders over there. Oh, don't move, don't move. Oh, the Variag Lancers look like they're going to come in on Adriel. But if Adriel is on his side, that should shut them down. Oh, no, cavalry hits the tribesmen. Just as the Gondor support arrives. Our pikes aren't being used at all, though. We need to get them into the fight. Try and get the pikes down there and in.
The battle is very much in
You
our
go for those
favor.
Candish raiders.
Victory will be ours.
Yeah, look, we're absolutely massacring them. It's what happens when we have numbers. Our quality absolutely shines through. And the AI just has no hope. Even, as I say, even Gondor Militia, our very worst unit, are out here schooling Canned in how warfare works. Mass routing down the centres going fantastically. We've utilised our cavalry well this time. By ignoring my inherent inability to micro them and just charging them into a large blob of the enemy. It's done as we need. Right, cavalry, if you can hit those marauders, because you'll kill those. Do it as one. You might take a few losses, but not as many as they'll take. Right, that left-hand side is completely won then. The right-hand side is going well. The Varag Lancers have been cut down, so it's only really the threat of range that the enemy still has. But as they foolishly wasted their general, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking with him. Charged him in and just let him die. There's our 3 cavalry units hitting their marauders. As I say, that's the left-hand side dying out. Oh no, pikes, turn and face. We had 143. We've lost we only lost about 10 or 11. And the pike line is down now. The Nomad Horsemen will go. Oh, look at that. It was about 6 in 1. Yes. Fun can still be had even in a dying campaign. Although with the loss of that large Ardenium army, I'm not as convinced that I think there's a glimmer. There's a glimmer of little hope. Marauder cavalry charging in there. Coming back on them. How are you guys doing against that Marauder unit? A Marauder cav good against other cav? No. And they have terrible stats, but they tend to do quite well when you charge them with cavalry. I don't really know why. Right, and Rothian Guardsmen, you guys come back and try and hit those nobles. On an absolute side note, I'm trying not to move at all at the moment because the room that I'm recording this in is absolutely boiling. Here in the UK, this is the hottest weather of the summer so far. And it is warm. Very bloody warm. Right, left-hand side completely done. It's just the cavalry waiting to finish off the other cavalry. But if you can try and get those Candish Raiders, that will help. I don't know who we're fighting here. Routing Tribesmen. Variag Nobles. Now, you guys turn around and hit those Raiders that are attacking you. So this is over for the enemy. We just need them to realise that and bugger off. I think they've won. Yes, they have. Is there anywhere we can turn them? No, that side's completely won as well. It's just about catching Archer Cav now. Oh, it looks like we might have caught the general. No, he's over there. No, he's over there. Right, let's speed this up. This is over. Good attack. And the Candish Raiders run. And the Steppe Archers run. Right, so it's only really killing off Batadoon, and we need him to die. He is an absolute must. Because he's been the only Candish general in their history who has managed to shame the forces of Dol Amroth. And for that, we shan't build statues or remember him. We will bring ruin to his family and all his line. Batadoon will be a name that even the forces of Cand fear to whisper. And there he is, that gentleman there, sitting bloodied. Oh, coward. Buggered off. Come on. Someone catch him. Particularly the Seaward Lancers, if we would, because they'll be able to actually kill him. Yes! And then finish him, finish him. His entourage falls.
The battle is very much in our favour.
The banner of Dol Amroth flies high behind him and he has no idea. Come on, someone get him. He stands alone on the field. He tries to run. That's normally the perfect moment to get them. He's making his way through the entire line. It's become something of a hunt now. Come on, someone just lop his head off so we can pop it on one of their own flags and carry it into battle at the head of our armies. It's really a shame that we lost Elfir, though. That's very disappointing. Come on, someone bring down the banner carrier. He's shaming us.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
How far away are we? Adrian, get over here. He's coming. Just at the minute, Batadoon is bringing shame to our squires. Oh, his banner carrier falls, and yes, he's down.
A clear victory.
Yes, 400 men died, 1,081 of our enemy, and 160 kills. Seaward Lancers, their first foray on the field for Dol Amroth, and they've proven their might and strength and honour. That's fantastic. If we can capitalise on that, keep pressing out. We've got safety on our western border now, and it seems like Gondor might claw it back. We'll try and ship some troops over there, but again, if we can take the Ardenaim out of the picture, so Gondor only has to fight Mordor, we can deal with Khand. That is not a problem, and that is our goal hereafter.
Gondor is victorious.
Well, I was going to take the fort, but I tell you what, actually, just use a cavalry to take it.
Victory in your name, my lord.
Don't want a Khandish fort sitting in our region. Oh wow, Lynn here doesn't have a garrison.
As you wish.
Yes! Huzzah! And there's Shahryar, another Khandish army comes. Right, Gondor, you can send your army back. You can go and do what you like with it.
Ordered.
We've reclaimed our lands.
Make camp here.
We got Knights of the Tirith for that victory. Are you joking? Oh, get them to the front lines. Yes, please. You guys go with them. Making more money again with Lynn here back in our hands. Lynn here back in our hands. And other than the fact that we were very close to upgrading it, we've not lost anything, really. Except our library, of course. But we're very heavily Dunedain, so we don't need to worry about that. And Khand, oh, look at that. They even built us a Master Mason's Hall. So it actually worked out all right. We came out of that looking quite well. Ignoring the loss of our town. Get them to the front.
We can go no further today.
Do we think we are going to need to ship troops over here? Well, we'll have to wait and see how Gondor deals with Anulond. But I can't imagine the Ardenaim with only 2 regions are going to be able to deal with the might that Gondor has over there. Dol Amroth got its fiefdom way station. Right, before I end this episode then, let's just have a look at the rest of the world and see if really this is the end for us. Oh no, fantastic! Isengard don't border Gondor. So it's only Mordor they have got to deal with. But oh bugger, they've lost Karasast. I bet that army that they pulled down, that was the army that was defending the line, wasn't it? Stuart Angbor the Fearless, you really need to get on it. Khan sending in another army. There's Harad, as we know, blocked in down there. The Ardenaim now in Ardamir. They still have Haldunir, so that's going to be a bit of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. So over in the west, Gondor at the moment is sort of protected by the Ardenaim, holding Tharagondos and Anulond. Rohan must have been killed by family tree, because Hornburg and Onodrith and Tirith Anduin and Rochburg are all still held, and there's a couple of rebel armies looking Rohirric around. Elsewhere, we don't really care about anywhere else, but it's fantastic that Isengard doesn't border over here. So if Isengard get involved, which I'm not sure they will, Ardenaim, you don't like Ened Wyth, who are at war with Isengard. So Isengard are only allied to Dunland and enemies of Ened Wyth. They might go to war with Mordor. Oh, how can we try and swing that? Where's our diplomat?
Your orders.
Let's turn off the fog of war. Talk to Angmar while you're here, and then I'll send you south. We could probably get 850 now, right?
I do not believe
Yeah,
I'm able
alright.
to
We
accept
don't get any money, that's
Joseph
alright.
until we meet again.
Right, diplomat, I'm going to cheat move him south, so that he's ready. So we'll do that now, and then end the episode. Show cursor stats, move character Baragon, isn't he called? 5, 2, 6, 8. Yeah, there we are. Alright, so on the next turn,
Yes, my
we
lord.
will try.
Without
Try.
question.
I mean, they're probably going to say no. I don't have anything to offer them. I don't know what I could offer them. I've got no money. That's why we need to wait a turn. But anyway, that's going to be where we ended this one. So actually, things have managed to flip on their head, courtesy of Gondor's strength in the west, despite the damning knowledge that Gondor's ticking time bomb is coming. Gondor needs to throw everything into battle with Mordor, and they will be able to hold them. But it's just, I think it might not be. It's just, I think, as much as we're now doing okay and we'll be able to push Khand back, and now we'll actually be able to go into Khand's lands properly, I don't think Gondor will hold Mordor, and that will probably be the actual downfall of the campaign. But as I say, if we are going to go down, we'll go down with honour, and we'll go down with the ship. We won't jump off of it before it gets to the bottom. So for now, that concludes this episode. So thank you very much for watching, and until we speak again, dear friends, Nova Iron and Enfermad Melonin, and farewell.